Lesley Frohlich, owner of Comic Realms. We opened up March of 2017, I think it was. We're just starting our 4th year. And we opened up because Bismarck was lacking a comic book store. We weren't going to have one, and I feel like we needed one in this town. We're big enough to have a comic book store. I didn't know a lot. I really didn't. My mom got me watching The Walking Dead, which I thought was the dumbest show ever because my mom watched it. And I was bored one night and watched it, and on the bottom it says, based off the comic book series, and I went and bought, that was my first comic book, started reading it, and then from there it literally was a rabbit hole of stuff. Like, I was just like, oh, if this is good, what else is good? And started reading all kinds of things. And the big thing though was seeing how my nephew, who wouldn't read, reacted to the books I would bring him, and watching him just sit on the floor and read and read. And my sister would send me pictures of him under the covers at night with a flashlight when he was supposed to be sleeping, reading books. And so that was when it really hit me that I went, kids could read something because they don't want to read today, but they could read stuff that they see on TV or in the movies or those types of things, something that they'd like. Walking Dead is one of my favorites. I love Batman. I think most people do. I do like a lot of more independent stuff. Like my current read right now that is my favorite is Something's Killing the Children. I just like how with the independent stuff you can get so many different genres, and it's not just superhero based. So there's so much more crime, mystery, sci-fi, horror that you can kind of delve into. Honestly, my customers. It started as kind of this idea that we wanted, and I think we've met that, but I love coming in and having debates with customers, or them just talking to me about their bad day, using this as a place to release, or getting excited about the new book that's coming out. Like during COVID, I started to miss people around here. I was like, what is everybody doing? Where are they? And so it's at this point in time is we do it for these guys so that they have a place that they can come to, and it's their place. There is, and that kept me from it for a long time. I grew up with 4 brothers, and so I was familiar with Batman and Turtles, and they all had their favorites, and I was familiar with it, but you would walk into a store and it's so overwhelming because there's so much. And you think you have to go back, because there's such a history. You feel like you have to go back to the beginning to understand, and you really don't. And so we help people come in, and if you don't know, it's cool. We're here to help you. Tell us what you like, which movies you've watched, what TV shows you like, and we'll steer you on a path that's really easy to get, into things that you love. And so, and you don't have to be into superheroes or, whatever. Things right now that most people won't even realize are comic books, like Umbrella Academy, The Boys, Sandman. I can't think of some of the other ones, but yeah, there's tons. Lock and Key. All of those started as comic books. So if you're enjoying those, it's an easy stepping stone into this world. So we do a mix of both new releases and old comic books. So we have this area here. You'll see here some of the older stuff, first appearances, minor keys, that type of thing, and then all of the boxes have where you just dig through all the different, we'll have stuff from the 40s up, and it's ever changing depending on what we buy and that kind of stuff. So, and then of course we have all kinds of, fun collectibles. We've added a huge kids section. So not only kids, but young adults, and young adults are like the #1 category of readers in graphic novels right now. And that's a fun category because, like with comic books, there's so much other than just superhero stuff. But if you like superheroes, you can read those as well.
Do you find a lot of people love to come in here with their kids? It's like a bonding experience?
Yes. Yeah, and it's cool because you can bring in your kid and get into something that you were into when you were younger. So I see a lot of, dads and kids reading Spider-Man, which is really cool. I love it. And I love seeing more females enter the market as well. For the longest time, it wasn't a female-friendly market, and now I'm seeing young 12-year-old girls come in picking up like Wonder Pony and Amulet, and that eventually just gets him into a whole other world of stuff. So that's super fun. I'm throwing stuff around. We do have a manga section as well. So all they are is Japanese comics. They're released a little different in the United States than they are in Japan. And so here we get them in full books. And this is a category that's been growing really well with teenagers and young adults. I just started reading manga, and there's some really fun stories. And then, yeah, all of the new books that come out every week, we do. And we do lots of collectibles, so we have the whole statues and those types of things of all your favorite heroes. Batman.
Really?
Yes. We're a Batman town, definitely. Nothing ever really comes close to Batman. Things try, but yeah, Batman here is just, it's solid. And I think it's because he's just really recognizable. He weirdly connects with both young kids and older kids. Because I sometimes you'll have 3-year-olds come in and go, oh, I love Batman. And I'm like, I don't know if you should be reading Batman, but I mean, because he is a little more rough than Spider-Man. But yeah, kids love him, adults love him. So, and then here's our books and graphic novels that we do. So it's a good way this is the easiest way to start something. If you've seen something on TV, like we carry The Walking Dead. There's Umbrella Academy here. Somebody just bought me out of the boys. Lock and Key. We always make sure we carry the stuff that's on TV right now, but even old classic series. Like me and Chris were talking earlier about like Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is a classic story, or Batman Hush, things like that. And these are all contained. So you get 5 or 6 or up to 12 books in one of these. And so it's a good way to read a big chunk and to get like the whole contained story. So.
All right. And you guys have games?
Games. My dad loves games. Actually, we all love games. We grew up playing. That was our family time. We sat at the table and we played games. And still to this day, every holiday is about games more than anything. And then some food. But other than that, yeah. Even last year, we're like, can we just open presents and be done with this so we can play games? And we all get games. So we do. So Dad calls it new, used, and everywhere in between. He's got stuff from the 30s and 40s all the way up to, this is the current rack of new stuff. All the different fun, what's kind of popular now stuff. You'll have classics, Monopoly, Life, Clue, Parcheesi, tons of versions from that you remember from when you were a kid. We get that a lot. Like, I want the one from the 80s when I was a kid. He goes through, Dylan and me go through, we make sure they're all playable, even though they are used all the parts and pieces in them. And so there's so many games, so many. We actually were going to count one time to Book of World Records. And we got to 1,000 different titles, and then somebody came in and interrupted us.
Oh, no!
And so we should do that again, because I'm curious how many different titles we actually carry. And it's fun because I see a lot of grandparents coming in now with their grandkids wanting to get games to get kids off of the electronics. And so it's nice to see that the family table's coming back. And you learn so much from games. I mean, you really do. You learn a lot of good skills. And with the kids' games, there's so much from counting and colors and shapes to, Dad's got money games where, you can learn how to count change and buy stuff. And so, yeah, and then up to, just being a bad, learning how to lose and win. Which can be hard in games. There's games I get really frustrated with. I'm like, dang it. But yeah, so kid games, dice games, card games. We do even carry the current CCGs, so Magic, Pokemon are really big with us. HeroClix is a huge area. I don't think a lot of people in the state do it, but we have a really good group that play. And it's a superhero game where you get little figures and you battle each other. So it kind of fits the motif here. So this is our new space. We just got it done, I think 2 weeks ago. This is our event/gaming space. This is what we're going to use now we do book clubs currently. We do Facebook live sales once a month that we do in here. We're going to slowly bring back our tournaments. So HeroClix Pokemon Magic. We're looking at doing board game nights. We do have some games in here already, so it'll be open play. You can just come on in whenever, play whatever. And we're hoping to really use this to do a lot of fun things. I'm in talks with a girl about possibly doing like some nights of how to create your own cosplay, learning how to sew, those types of things. I'm in talks with somebody about, like creating cosplay weapons. Dad brought up, he's like, we should do like art nights or just different things like that. So this is going to be a really fun space in the coming year of just different activities that people can do, or you just come hang out. I mean, over the weekend, play some games. We've got a group that come down and just open up the space, come on in, play board games, eat some snacks, hang out with their friends. So we are located at 106 North Mandan Street in Bismarck. We are at the basement of the Anderson building, and our hours are 11 to 6 Monday through Friday, 11 to 5 on Saturday, and we are closed on Sunday. So, and then you can always find us at www.comicrealms.com or our Facebook page. So